US President Donald Trump had requested Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to supply hydroxychloroquine tablets to the US so that the drug can be used to treat COVID-19 patients. The two leaders spoke on the telephone to assess the situation with respect to the coronavirus pandemic. US President Donald Trump said that the Indian administration led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi was giving serious consideration to export hydroxychloroquine to the US. Until now, India, which manufactures a massive amount of the drug, has put a hold on the export of this drug and its formulations. Hydroxychloroquine is an anti-malarial drug which is being used to treat patients suffering from COVID-19. The Trump administration has asked for large quantities of this drug as the combination of it with some antiviral drugs was helpful in treating close to 1,500 COVID-19 patients in New York. Trump also went on to say that he would not shy away from taking the tablet himself. Prime Minister Narendra Modi conveyed deep condolences to people who had lost members of their family to the deadly coronavirus and wished an early recovery for those who were still suffering from the disease. PM Modi also stressed on the special relationship between the US and India and reiterated India's solidarity with the US in fighting this pandemic. The two leaders exchanged ideas on how to combat the global health crisis and examined methods adopted in each of their countries to effectively reduce the economic and financial impact of the virus. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also had separate telephonic conversations with Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro and Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez to deliberate upon the impact of the novel coronavirus on all the lives. As of now, the lethal coronavirus, which reached almost all countries, has infected more than 1 million people and has killed more than 64,000 people worldwide. Let's bring you some updates from India. The country has witnessed a sharp surge in the number of positive coronavirus cases. According to the government's data, 75 people have now lost their lives and more than 3,113 people are now infected in India from coronavirus. More than 79,000 samples have been tested. As of yesterday, 11,182 samples were reported, out of which 324 were positive for coronavirus. The state of Maharashtra remains the worst affected state with more than 400 positive cases. Prime Minister Narendra Modi tweeted that he had an extensive telephonic conversation with US President Donald Trump on coronavirus, and both leaders agreed to deploy the full strength of the India-US partnership to fight this virus. PM Modi also chaired a joint meeting of empowered groups constituted for planning and ensuring the implementation of coronavirus response activities in the country. He also reviewed the countrywide preparedness regarding the availability of hospitals, proper isolation and quarantine facilities, disease surveillance, testing and critical care and training. He will also interact with floor leaders of political parties who have more than 5 MPs in Parliament through video conferencing on 8th of April. Meanwhile, the COVID-19 core working group of the Southern Naval Command has prepared a training capsule for battlefield nursing assistants. This aims to train non-medical personnel who will work as force multipliers in the time of emergency. A total number of 333 personnel have been trained in the Southern Naval Command. Meanwhile, an Indian Air Force personnel who was in the Nizamuddin area during the Tablighi Markaz congregation has now been put under precautionary quarantine.